Vanishing Point, a novel by Keith A. Kenel, 10 of 101. Part 10. The girls had barely begun to play when Mr. Lance blew his piercing 100-plus decibel Fox referee whistle long and hard. Skylar started visibly at the sound, and Sarah grabbed the red rubber ball the pair had been bouncing back and forth in a lackluster, lackadaisical, anemic two-person pantomime of Foursquare. "Come on," Sarah commanded her friend as she started walking to the shaded area where the ball crate rested. "We'd better take our ball back to Ms. Yule, or she'll ball us out for sure." Ms. Yule took the ball from Sarah in a perfunctory way, her mouth twisted in a sneer that was likely intended to be a smile, and nodded to the girls in a silent, dismissive gesture. "Ms. Yule?" Skylar asked. Startled from her silent staring, Ms. Yule minutely shook her head before taking her eyes from the distance and looking down at the young girls in front of her. "Yes?" she asked quietly before remembering to be gruff and demanding. "Yes? What is it, girls? You need to go line up." "Yes'm," Skylar acknowledged. "It's just that man you're staring at looks right familiar to me, and I saw Mr. Lance go over and speak to him. Can you tell me who he is?" Ms. Yule flared her nostrils, tilted her head to the side, squared herself toward the children, and stated, "No, I'm sure I couldn't. Now please go line up. Recess is over." "Yes'm, it's just that—" Ms. Yule did not find out to what Skylar's "it's just that" referred, as she interrupted the girl with the command, "It's just that it's time to go line up. Now!" She punctuated her dictate with a pointy-fingered, arm fully extended gesticulation toward the space where Miss Shannon's class was queuing. For a single second, Skylar stood, mouth agape, until Sarah grabbed her friend's shirt sleeve and tugged on it. "Come on," she whispered forcefully, her eyebrows rising as she jerked her head in the direction of the line where her class was gathering. "Let's line up." The girls entered the queue and stood silently. Mr. Lance's regimented release of each class from the playground was predicated on still and quiet students, standing in straight lines. Skylar and Sarah knew this, but frequently caused their class to re-enter the building last. But seeing the man that markedly reminded Skylar of her deceased father made her immotile with melancholy. The gym teacher looked down at the dozen columns of sweating students, moved to the front of Miss Shannon's room's line, and said, "Miss Shannon's class is dismissed." Entering the building, the children found Miss Shannon standing just inside the entryway, her arms hanging loosely, her hands gently enfolding one another, and her face wearing a small yet sincere Mona Lisa-esque smile. She nodded to Monica at the front of the line and waited for her class to pass before following in their wake. As they neared a water fountain, Miss Shannon said, "Monica, stop at the water fountain, please. Anyone who would like a drink, now's the time to get one. Everyone else, you may continue into the classroom." Less than a quarter of the class waited for water at the fountain. Though the fountain cooled the water, it still held the omnipresent, unpleasant mineral taste shared by Central Florida's municipal water supply. Miss Shannon followed her class to her room but waited just outside the door, where she was able to monitor both groups. Most of the children in the classroom pulled bottled water from their desks and sipped on that, while the children who either forgot or could not afford bottled water took varying amounts of semi-refreshing H2O from the tap. Sarah, who had bottled water at her desk, took a small sip, while Skylar, who did not, took a long pull on the unpleasant, though potable, potation. Once finished, the children walked to the classroom where Miss Shannon greeted each with an inviting smile. Sarah smiled back, entered the room, and took her seat. Skylar stopped at the doorway and said, "You know what, Miss Shannon? I think I saw my daddy outside by the playground." Miss Shannon tilted her head to the side and said, "Your father? I don't believe I've ever met your father before. Just your mom. Does he live with you?" "Oh, no. My daddy's dead."